Hi Asia traders, I'm Steve Edge. Welcome to our back to school issue of AsiaEtrading TV. We hope you enjoyed the summer holidays and managed to think about something other than market structure. It has been relatively quiet, but there are a few notable developments we should touch on, so let's get started. Well, we should probably start with China, that golden goose, the promised land, but really it's just a basket case. The world's second largest economy has seen its markets hammered, and now it's the blame game.
Wasn't me. Saw me banging on the sofa.
Wasn't me. And reactive myopic policies to try to stop that, putting in ridiculous curbs like no short selling or no futures trading or no selling at all in the case of northbound stock connect trading. Even curbing speculative trading. I guess they want investors who are diversifying their portfolios and to eliminate systematic risk.
What you talking about, Willis?
We'll try that in your housing market instead, but maybe if you didn't throw analysts in jail who gave a negative rating on your companies. Or hire qualified managers rather than the cousin of the party boss to run companies they might be worth investing in. The problem isn't speculation or manipulation. China, you need more transparency and accountability, a lot more.
What you talking about, Willis?
This will bring stability to the markets and to your government. Now they're going after Hong Kong brokers, saying that they're covering up a massive short-selling ring that brought the trillion-dollar bourse to its knees. Well, you need only look in the mirror to find the culprit of the sell-off. China has great potential, and there has been some bright spots, of course. China now has the largest index future contract by volume and notional in the CSI 300, for example. Also, the custody fees for the southbound stock connect flow are quickly growing. Hong Kong benefits from China's incompetency, so why not blame it for its failings? Eurex clearing Asia was another interesting development this summer. The Deutsche Börse Group has been creeping to Asia steadily for the last few years. There's Clearstream, the post-trade infrastructure provider, and Vestima, their suite of investment fund services for the cross-border fund industry. The night derivatives with Korea and Taiwan are in Eurex as well. The shareholdings of the BSE and their regional access points are just some other notes. And now Eurex clearing Asia in Singapore. When ICE bought the Singapore Mercantile Exchange and its clearinghouse, it thought it was a smart move, and it was, but also leapfrog ahead in terms of establishing a foothold in Asia. Well, its delays in going live and technology issues have seen that advantage all but disappear. Eurex Clearing Asia will start clearing stocks index futures to start, but I suspect this is just only the beginning. Speaking of competition, Chi-X Australia introduced the at-last trading phase. It sounds like a Twitter handle, doesn't it? It went live on the 31st of August, and there were a few trades as we hear. Well, basically, it's a last-minute chance to get your orders done at the last price of the day on Chi-X, not ASX. The phase runs from 4:12 and closes at 4:20. There are two types of orders available, hidden and invisible MOC or market on close, which are immediately executable, provided there is liquidity, of course. Good to see Chi-X innovating down under. Also in Australia, there will be a new firm called Block Event headed up by Dave Klinger, who is formerly of LiquidNet, that will cater to insto block trading. They will provide actionable IOIs and have an electronic as well as a voice block desk too. Tor is providing the technology. We understand the go-live date is in November and will offer several Asia markets starting in Australia. You know, Australia is a small market, but it's probably the most advanced in its market structure in Asia.
Have a go at the welcoming committee.
Now we just have to wait to hear about the clearing monopoly. Go get 'em, John! In Japan, September 1st ushered in mandatory trading on electronic platforms for certain specified OTC derivatives transactions. Under the Japan Financial Instruments and Exchange Act, it will affect certain Japanese yen-denominated interest rate swap transactions and certain financial institutes with notional amounts of more than 6 trillion Japanese yen. We usually get a stream of PR agencies telling us that their client is the first to market to provide a solution, but so far we've only heard from Bloomberg Tradebook. And on the TSE, they began trading the first JPX 400 ETF. Good to see that this new index is developing nicely and creating new products for the Japan index market. They have the leverage ETFs on this too, the 2 times and the inverse of the JPX 400. You know, one of these days though, a leverage ETF is going to blow up and ruin the good name of the ETF industry as a whole. Maybe they should just rename the leverage products to begin with. There were other items over the summer, like the Leap Second issue. The Leap Second hype sounded like the same software problem as the Y2K hype, an excuse for technology vendors to sell more product. In the world of nanosecond timestamping, how hard is it to start trading 1 second later? Bloomberg ESMX, connecting to the Colombo Stock Exchange through the NDB Securities.
My name is Lieutenant.
No, not that Colombo, the one in Sri Lanka. SGX had another outage. Good thing Mr. Bacher left just in time for that. The BSE introduced multi-leg order entry in its derivatives segment. So what that will mean for you non-derivatives types is that you'll be able to buy, say, 2 calls and sell 1 put at the same time, for example. Gaurang Desai has become the CEO of the Dubai Gold and Commodity Exchange. Good choice and best of luck to him. Well, that's our show for this week as we see Asia market structure. We welcome any feedback, good or bad, on our show. And yes, of course, we do entertain advertising inquiries, and those can be sent to support@AsiaEtrading.com. If you're interested in European market structure, turn into our EU e-trading show. For Asia E-Trading, I'm Steve Edge.